Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming by. I first want to express my appreciation to those from literally around the world that have expressed their concern and let us know that they're praying for Leo and for our entire team here. For that, we're very grateful. I was actually with Leo last night about midnight when he came out of surgery, and let me first say he's been characterized as a security guard. He's actually our building operation manager. He does have a secondary duty of a security guard, but he is not in uniform and does not carry a gun. And so he was unarmed when he was confronted by the shooter and disarmed him. But as he was coming to out of the surgery, I was there and I told him, I said, Leo, I want you to know that you're a hero, and that's what we believe you are, and that's what Americans all across the country believe you are a hero for what you did today. And he still kind of groggy, and he said, wow, this hero business is hard work. So he did not lose his sense of humor, and we are grateful that his injuries, while it's going to take a while for him to recover, we expect him to be back here very soon, assuming his duties here running the building and making sure that this environment is secure, which he did yesterday and to which our entire team here is grateful. Let me also give a caveat about what I'm going to say today. As one who worked in law enforcement, I understand the importance of not making statements that would in any way hinder an ongoing criminal investigation, so my comments are going to be very short. But the reason we're here is because some statements have been made that are not completely accurate, and the fact that many of you have called wanting a statement. And obviously yesterday our first concern was with Leo and with the well-being of our staff here. That does bring me to my final point that I want to make. But let me say this, I do also want to, and I should do this, I want to express my appreciation to the groups and organizations that we do not agree with on many public policy issues, who have also expressed their outrage at what took place here yesterday. For that, I appreciate it. I appreciate them making those statements, but I would ask them to go a step further and to join us in calling for an end to the reckless rhetoric that I believe led to yesterday's incident that took place right behind me. And that does bring me to my final point. Let me be clear that Floyd Corkins was responsible for firing the shot yesterday that wounded one of our colleagues and our friend Leo Johnson. But Corkins was given a license to shoot an unarmed man by organizations like the Southern Poverty Law Center that have been reckless in labeling organizations hate groups because they disagree with them on public policy. And I believe the Southern Poverty Law Center should be held accountable for their reckless use of terminology that is leading to the intimidation and what the FBI here has categorized as an act of domestic terrorism. There's no room for that in a society such as ours that works through differences that we have on issues in public policy through a peaceful means. And with that, I'll take a few questions.
Sir, what evidence do you have that Corkins directly acted as a result of what the Southern Poverty Law Center said?
I'm sorry?
What evidence do you have that Corkins was acting as a direct result of the Southern Poverty Law Center?
Well, we know that, again, not wanting to get too much into the investigation, but we know that he was carrying 15 Chick-fil-A sandwiches along with 50 rounds of ammunition. That's not something you carry out to the park for a picnic. We know over the last 2 weeks since the Chick-fil-A issues took place, and let me be clear about that. As you've seen the stories and the reports about Chick-fil-A, you've seen the Family Research Council listed in many of those stories that the Chick-fil-A supports and underwrites the Family Research Council. They gave us a $1,000 donation a number of years ago. They don't underwrite this organization. They certainly are free to do so. But if you let me finish, I'll answer. And in those stories where it says the Family Research Council, it says they're a certified hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. We've seen that term used increasingly over the last 2 years, and it marginalizes individuals and organizations letting people feel free to go and do bodily harm to innocent people who are simply working and representing folks all across this country.
Why do you think this is just an unhinged individual and that there's no explaining his motives?
Well, how many unhinged individuals walk around with 15 Chick-fil-A sandwiches and 50 rounds of ammunition?
Do you believe that Corkins was coming in to commit an act of mass murder, a mass shooting? Has anybody at the FBI told you that? Also, how many people were in the building at the time of the shooting? And
I'm not going to get in.
Determined that this is an act of domestic terrorism.
Well, that is what has been labeled in the press reports, that they're treating it at present as an act of domestic terrorism.
Why do you think FRC was specifically targeted as opposed to other social issues?
Well, I think maybe going forward you may find out more information that we may not have been the only ones.
Have the organization received any threats or anything of that nature?
We have received other threats which we've turned over to authorities, but nothing in particular that would have been linked to this event.
Prior to the shooting?
I believe whatever the authorities feel like he has, what laws he has violated. I'm not a big supporter of the hate crimes law. What I believe is that when you commit an act of violence, it is a crime. I don't care why you do it, you did it. And now when you talk about acts of domestic terrorism, terrorism is intended to intimidate and marginalize and silence a portion of the population. I see that this could very well fit in that category. But I can assure you that as my staff here is totally committed to continuing to cross through these doors each and every day to defend faith, family, and freedom for Americans across this country. These are foundational principles we're talking about. And this is how our system works. The cornerstone to our society is the freedom of speech and the freedom of religion. If we lose those, we lose our future. And so I want to close by just saying, yes, we are thankful that yesterday's incident did not turn out to be any worse than it did. We are grateful for Leo Johnson, who acted heroically. But I also want to say that I'm proud to lead a team of individuals who cross through these doors each and every day to stand for faith, family, and freedom. And let us be very clear to our supporters across the country that we will stand in defending those freedoms today, tomorrow, and every day. Thank you for being here.
Any changes?